The girl the prince could not touch. I still remember the scream that came from the prince's room that night. It didn't sound human. And it still follows me till today. My name is Kelechi. I grew up in Ogutu, a small town where everybody knew everybody. Our biggest landmark was the palace at the top of the hill. It had old red walls, a large iron gate, and guards who behaved like they were above the law. But none of them was as feared as Prince Dafe. He was the king's only son. Handsome, tall, dressed like someone who thought the sun rose only for him. People said he was charming. But those of us who lived close to the palace knew the truth. He liked control. He liked to see fear. He loved to get whatever he wanted, especially women. If he wanted a girl, she was expected to agree. Some girls refused quietly and left town for visits that suddenly became permanent. Others gave in out of fear. No one challenged him. No one asked questions. I worked in the palace kitchen with my aunt, so I saw more than most people. I saw the girls who came in smiling and left crying. I saw the guards who forced laughter when the prince was around and whispered complaints when he wasn't. I saw the king pretending not to notice his son's behavior. And I saw Dave walk around like a man who believed nothing in this world could stop him. I believed that too, until the year Ada came. Ada arrived in Ogutu on a quiet Sunday morning. She came with her uncle, a simple carpenter who rented the small yellow house near the market. Ada was different from the girls in town. She wasn't loud. She wasn't shy. She was calm, like someone who didn't need attention to be noticeable. She walked with steady steps, like she always knew where she was going. Her eyes were soft but cold. You couldn't tell what she was thinking. People said different things about her. She's too quiet. She looks like she has sense. She must have suffered before. She's beautiful in a strange way. All I knew was that whenever she passed by, something in the air shifted. Not bad, not good, just different. One thing about small towns, news spreads faster than fire. Within 2 weeks, everybody knew Ada. And, unfortunately, so did Prince Dafe. The first time Dave saw Ada was during the New Yam festival. I was serving drinks. Ada was arranging chairs near her uncle. Dave's eyes landed on her and stayed there. I could tell from the look on his face, she was his next target. He walked towards her with that fake gentle smile he used when he wanted something. Ada looked at him for a second, nodded politely, and then returned to what she was doing. No excitement. No fear. Nothing. For the first time in my life, I saw Dave blink in confusion. He returned to his seat, but his eyes did not leave her the whole day. Later that evening, he asked one of his guards to take Ada a gift, an expensive gold bracelet. She sent it back. Everyone in the palace heard about it the same night. Dave was not used to rejection. So the next day, he sent 2 guards to invite Ada to the palace for a friendly walk. She refused again. Politely. Calmly. Like someone who was used to standing her ground. People began to talk. This girl is brave. This girl is foolish. This girl does not know who she is dealing with. 3 days later, Dave went himself. I was carrying vegetables to the palace gate when I saw him ride down the hill on his motorcycle, heading toward town. When he returned later, he was furious. He stormed inside and broke a glass cup. I heard him shout. She thinks she is better than me. He locked himself in his room, and nobody dared disturb him. Later, I heard from someone who was at Ada's uncle's shop that day what happened. Dave walked up to Ada with a smile. She looked at him once and said, calmly, "Prince, you cannot have me. Please go home." That was all. Just one sentence. And something about it broke something inside him. The night after their conversation, strange rumors started moving around the palace. A guard claimed he saw a shadow near the prince's window around midnight. Another servant said he heard whispering inside the prince's bathroom even when the room was empty. The strangest one was what Dave himself said to his friend. "I feel like someone is watching me." But he laughed it off. Dave wasn't the type to be scared. Or maybe he was, but he hid it well. The next morning, he ordered that Ada be brought to him by force. But when the guards returned, they said something unbelievable. "Prince, she wasn't there." The door opened by itself and we found nobody inside. Ada was seen walking to the market less than 10 minutes later. Her uncle said she was home all night. Her neighbors said the same. No one could explain what happened. It happened on a Thursday. I remember because the moon was full and bright. The whole palace felt uneasy, like a storm was about to fall. Dave ate dinner alone. He told the guards not to disturb him until morning. He entered his room, locked the door, and turned off the light. Around midnight, I went to fetch water near the back corridor. The palace was quiet, too quiet. Even the night insects were silent. Then it began. A soft thud. Then another. Then a heavy crash. At first I thought it was furniture. But the sound that followed made my knees shake. Dave screamed. Not like someone who saw a rat. Not like someone who felt pain. He screamed the way a person screams when something they believed impossible becomes real right in front of their eyes. Guards ran to the door, but no one could enter. It was like something was holding it from the inside. The screams continued. Something hit the wall. Something heavy fell. Then silence. A deep, eerie silence. When the door finally opened on its own, the guards ran in. What they saw made grown men freeze where they stood. Dave was on the floor, cawed like a child, eyes wide open. His mouth moved but no sound came out. He looked like he saw something still standing in the room. But the room was empty. At least to us. People say humans scratch things when they panic. But nobody can explain what we saw on the wall. Long, thin marks stretched from the window to the door. Deep marks. Sharp marks. Not human. Not metal. Not normal. The gifts Ada returned were on the table. All of them. But this time, they had dark fingerprints on them. Not blood. Not dirt. Just something. The king gave 2 orders that night. Nobody must speak of this. Find Ada. But she was already gone. She and her uncle left town before sunrise. Dave never spoke again. He never slept with the lights off. He never stayed alone. He refused to sit near windows. He kept pointing at one empty corner of his room, shaking. People said he was cursed. Others said Ada was something else, something protected by forces older than the palace. My grandmother said one thing, and it's the only thing that makes sense today. Some girls are not alone. You touch them, you touch the thing walking with them. Whatever walked with Ada visited the prince that night. And it left him with nothing but fear. Even now, when I pass by that old palace, I can still feel something watching from the windows. And sometimes, when the wind blows at night, I hear a faint sound. Like a scratch on a wall.